All right. Thank you so much, Keval, for joining us today. We are so excited to have you on the Thought Leadership series on Quora for Business. This initiative is essentially to understand more about, what are your thoughts on financial services as a vertical? How is One Finance growing its inroads, growing its customers? And, your team has done a great campaign with Quora ads. So we just wanted to delve a little bit into what was your thought process of leveraging Quora. But before we get into that, we just wanted your perspective on creation of One Finance. So just to delve a little bit deeper into that question, how did One Finance come to be? What inspired the creation? I did see your corporate film and it was so amazing. And the campaign films are also so amazing. So if you can, give us a little perspective on the necessity of a platform like this. And what is your advice to, individuals and families?
Sure. Thanks, Neha, and thanks the entire Quora team for having me here. I think, to start with, how did One Finance come to be? I'll just, so I think in 2018 something is where I met Jeet Marwadi for the first time. He is the second generation in the Marwadi family taking care of the group business, which is predominantly to financial services, education, and renewable energy. When we met for the first time itself, I was building some other company, and by that time, digital revolution in India had already kick-started. So there was always that something that what can we build for the the mass affluent or the M&I segment of India, which is growing rapidly, and what can be done for them to improve their quality of life and not just sell to them, because by now everybody is selling to the mass affluent in India, but nobody is really solving too much for them. So having built multiple financial organizations myself, and Jeet already had a lot of other background, so both of us were very clear that we don't want to just build an organization now that just for valuations or for anything else. It has to be a purpose-led, value-driven organization. And I think that was very easy after that to build One Finance, because in the world where everybody is selling, especially into financial services, we were solving. So for us, it was very, very easy to have guiding principles, value-driven organization. Everything was like just happening. And then it is said, like once your intent is right, a lot of things automatically also universe tries to make them fall in place. And that's something that has been happening with us. So whether it was account aggregator, Jeet has been tracking it for 2017, जब से white paper आया तब से. Whether it is the algorithmic advisory channel that I have been trying to build since 2012. Wow. But this was the time that it had to be. So rather than, how did One Finance come to be? I would say that One Finance just had to be. It was this time. Yeah.
That's so interesting. And the very fact that you've created a value-driven organization with the intent of helping individuals and families make, grow their money. It's like comprehensive, financial guidance that you're aiming at giving. So could you expand a little bit on the scope of personal finance topics and services that One Finance covers? It's a very broad range, honestly, financial requirement. So it's great for our viewers to understand and our readers to understand a little bit more about, what is it that you specialize in?
Super. Thanks again, but I'll just take probably a 30-second or a 45-second extra in this question just to let you know that, as you said, the moment you talk about financial planning or personal finance in India, or you talk about money, the current state of the Indian mindset is growth in money, right? Wealth creation is the primary and the only objective rather that is being chased. But if we look at the developed economy, we look that after a certain point in life, once you achieve the basic necessity, once you achieve that threshold of survival, financial independence, and like you don't really have to work for money, and your capabilities and all that, right? That is where you realize that just wealth creation standalone doesn't really give you anything. Because the goal of financial planning or personal finance is not to be rich at a 80-year-old with 100 all ailments where you can do nothing about your money, right? I mean, you can have all the money, but there's no use to it. And neither the goal should be the YOLO goal, which currently Gen Z has, that you end up spending so much beyond your means that you spend the rest of your life in misery. The goal of financial planning across the globe is to live with peace till 80. So the idea is to be at peace with your money. Honestly speaking, over a period of years, if you realize, a 2%, 3% CAGR comes zyada, maybe a 50 lakh, 2 crore rupees of corpus saved, more or less, will not matter if you have achieved that at the cost of the peace of mind that you have, right? So
Right.
One Finance is getting that financial well-being, and that is why, across the globe, this is a term which is already there in US. If you see, because they are the largest economy in the world, and a lot of things, right? So for them it was very challenging when the real statistics started coming out, that 57% of the divorces in United States of America were happening because of financial issues. Okay, and like whether it was depression, whether it was antidepressant, sale of antidepressant, which was the highest in the world. The Yeah, so the US government, along with their welfare team, they had to start an entire series of research to understand what is keeping people so unhappy, because the money is already there.
Right.
Then in that case, if we were talking about wealth creation is equal to happiness, then technically no rich person should be unhappy, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we understood that, and we were blessed. Like I said, Jeet and I both, we were blessed in our own respective ways to not really have to work any further for wealth creation, and we understood the real way to achieve peace with money, whether it is having too much money or whether it is having a certain segment of money. Of course, you need to meet your ends, that's one part, but beyond that, you need to be at peace with your money. Otherwise you will always be consumed. So that is what One Finance is. One Finance is not into wealth creation. We are not into financial inclusion, education, all of it, though we end up doing all of that, but as a byproduct.
Absolutely.
We are into peace of mind.
Got it. I mean, that is such an important thought, that financial well-being doesn't have to be when you're retired or you are just starting off. It is essentially, as you go along, you have to be doing well for yourself. And therefore, there is this entire, credibility also that you would have worked towards building, so that people trust you and therefore want to invest with you and grow with you as they mature in their careers. So, for us, it is very important to understand, and I'm sure your audiences also want to know that, in the field of personal finance, trust is paramount.
Right.
So I understand that it's an erstwhile brand and it's an extension of the erstwhile brand, but since One Finance is a new byproduct of an erstwhile entity, how did you at One Finance go about establishing this credibility and ensuring that, there is dependability on the information that your team provides its stakeholders?
So if you see any of our collaterals, any of our marketing thing, and we never mention One Finance by MCG Group or since 50 years, 30 years, whatever, right?
Right.
We have had this debate internally. We went through a lot of our own experiences and everything. We were very clear that transparency is the door to trust. Okay. So, the trust is used, like trust is the most used word in this financial services branding marketing campaigns. If you look at it, we have not done even a single brand and campaign that talks about trusted, trust us, experience plus technology, nothing of that sort, because we were very clear that if you have to ask for trust, you technically are pretty sure that you don't deserve that. So we were very clear that the only thing that we can do is be heart out, open, transparent, and then it is on the customers to trust us, not trust us. And I don't think, once you don't give anybody a reason not to trust you, they trust you, right? I mean, you just have to ensure that you don't give them a reason not to trust you, because I think everybody eventually, deep rooted, if you look at human psychology, everybody wants to trust someone, but it's only that a person or a brand or a company that they're dealing with, they will always keep on giving you those reasons not to trust. So I mean, and that's where we are right now. We are the fastest growing RI in the country. We thought that people will have problem in sharing their data, talking about it and all that, but we have like 99% of our customers are so overwhelmingly, I would say, supportive. that they have been coming out, talking about their financial problems, talking about their psychological, biases with money.
Right.
And that's the reason we are able to solve it. I think, so there's nothing, absolutely nothing that keeps them, that makes them keep things from us.
That's such an interesting thought, when you said that the marketing campaign that you build is not somewhere outlining or claiming that trust us.
On our website, there is not even a mention of trust as a word.
Yeah.
Entire website, trust as a word. And probably we are the only financial organization that does not mention trust.
That's such an amazing conscious decision, because like you said, that you have to invariably trust your financial advisor. And that is where I think the money sign campaign that your team had shared with us and we are working with them on is so intriguing, because there must be some thought that you would have put behind it beyond just the word. Obviously, when you give a brief to an agency or a creative agency, that don't use the word trust, but I'm sure there's some more vision that underpins this campaign.
So yeah, I mean, when you talk about money sign, this is the only patented psychology framework in the entire world right now for financial personality assessment. We have received India patent, we have filed US and UK patent already. I mean, we were very clear, we don't want to do anything gimmicky. Like I said, you will not find trust on our website. You will not find AI, ML, NLP on our website, on our communication anywhere. Even though we do extremely high amount of technology, algorithmic calculations, but we know that, that's not needed here. So for us, there was only one thing which was very important, is transparency. And basically the underlying emotion was always honesty. Okay, so the value that we live by is honesty and fulfillment. And so honesty is something which we wanted in every campaign, every creative, and every platform that we deal with. So when we were analyzing that, how do we go about selecting platforms or doing campaigns, so we didn't want to deal with people who would like kind of just go behind the back doors, do that kind of profiling where the customer is actually not seeking something and you are just force selling them by repeatedly nudging them. And I think Quora just fit in very beautifully. You guys are very relevant. The target audience, like our target audience is pretty niche, right? When I say not ultra niche, but there's a set of audience that qualifies to become one finance member. And Quora also had the technical capabilities to segregate them, but the ethical approach of Quora was something that really matched with us. We were very clear that you guys don't have any even in the smallest of the thing, right? I mean, if there is a query, there is no fake accounts that are like kind of circumventing things. There are no unnecessarily pushy articles or sales campaigns that generally happen there, and we really respected that, and it was an easy choice for us.
Right. Actually, since you highlight that, Quora's Adam, when he founded Quora, his main virtue or his main outline was that he wanted a brand safe environment. I think very few platforms have a download button. I can't even recollect who has one. If you flag any content, our team of content writers works towards taking them down. With that, you mentioned that why you used Quora. I want to talk about one such ad format that you leverage, which was the Quora video ads as a tool to communicate your mission and vision. So just in a few words, if you could give us a little bit context on how did they align with your objective of being a reputable source of financial guidance, and just a little bit insight on that one.
Sure. I mean, of course, we have done our set of research when we are selecting platforms. Quora, like I said, ranked really well when it comes to relevance, when it comes to authenticity. So, whether it was the bot games or whether it is any kind of, fake account bots and all that stuff, I think, so none of this nuisance was there. So it was very easy for us to select that as a platform. And then video ads was, it was new and interesting for us. So we had great response there because of the target segment that was very precise, and we had that opportunity to actually go really deep, whether it was in which geography to the entire filter that was given to us. So we had great response there, and I'm really glad we did, and we are continuing to use that.
Amazing, amazing. I think thank you so much. All the insights that you've given us have been so helpful, and I'm sure our readers and our viewers are going to love listening to this and seeing it. With that, I think, is there anything more that you would like to highlight? One advice that you would like to give aspiring marketers? We'd love to take that as a sign off for this interview.
Yeah, I think just don't be obsessed by random data. I think that is something which I talk to a lot of marketers these days. We will try and understand your user rather than just spending all over. Figure out the right platforms for you and go double up, like even triple up the best platforms instead of being present at 20 platforms in a very smaller way.
Right.
That has worked really wonderful for us in every business that we have built, and I think that's a very common mistake that we see people doing. I would be glad if more marketers can avoid that.
That's an amazing advice for aspiring marketers. Thank you so much, Keval. I think it was wonderful chatting with you. We look forward to meeting you very soon in person as well. And yes, with that, I will just sign off with this recording. And thank you once again.
Thank you.